Before we start, we have a photographer up on the top to take an awesome picture. So the sixth graders, read carefully. No, this is not one of those pictures. It's one of the other kind of pictures. Would you stand carefully with your instrument so that Stan's going in the way, and I'll stand over here in the back and look up at the camera and say bassoon or something like that. Good photo opportunity for all of the other parents also. So with no further ado, here we go. Basically what we're going to do is walk you through what we've been through in the last 2 months. By all means, not every song, but the important things that we hit and what we learned from them. In between, there will be groups of solos, and I'll announce those kids as we go. So, here we go. So we started out, it was mostly about learning where fingers went. If you look at these people, you should see absolute models of great posture and position. You should see their feet flat on the floor, you should see their backs straight. Some people, like the trombones and the bassoons and the tubas, have options of sitting with their backs against the back of their chair to give them a little more support for their big-headed instrument. You should see their heads up, you should see their instruments at an appropriate angle. The flute should be out, the trumpet should be out, the trombone should be out, the clarinets and the oboe should be down. And the percussionists over there get to stand up during the entire time they play. So, poor Devin, right? Devin usually has company just as ill this evening, so he's on his own. All right, then we get into recognizable songs, and then we have to work on timing. What one child's fingers are comfortable doing, not what another child's fingers are comfortable doing. So we have to find a common ground so that everybody can play. So we started out with a song called Rolling Along, and pretty soon the kids started saying, hey, we know that song. That isn't Rolling Along. So hopefully you'll recognize this song. Okay, that was probably a familiar song, as will the next one be. And the reason that people who write these books for bands and orchestras use familiar songs is because then the students who play them can recognize them and know if they're right or not. Especially when they're outside of the band room and they're practicing on their own, they can't always tell. So this song, an all-time favorite, starts working on notes that are twice as slow as the heartbeat kind of notes that we played in the beginning. Almost all books and methods in music start off with kind of a heartbeat or walking speed note, which is what these students relate to most easily. And then once they get those down, then they introduce the slower ones. which require patience, which is always fun for middle schoolers. And then after that, you'll hear later in the program they add the eighth notes, which are faster, which eighth graders or sixth graders like a lot, but then they find it hard to slow back down again for the slow notes. So here we are, all-time favorite hot cross buns. Can't get better than that. Hey, next spot, take that. That guy, there's a spot. Okay, so the next step then is transferring the things that they've learned to a song that they've never heard before, and seeing if they can use the same skills and fast, slow, and finger organization things that they've done in songs that they do know. So here's a song called March Steps, which they had never heard before. And the reason that I'm playing piano instead of waving my arms around in the air is for kind of the same reason. We give them a sound to kind of pin their part or their instrument's notes on so they can tell if they're right. In about 2 months, when I see you in the January concert, we'll have gotten off of the piano a little bit and we'll have moved more towards conducting, and they do that beat keeping intrinsically for themselves. But for now, I get to play the piano. All right, we are going to move now to some solos within the band. And our first solo is Andrew Stigsell, a trumpet player, and Hagen Anderson, a trombone player, playing the song Jingle Bells. Next will be Sophia Tylerson and Lily Hall playing a duet on a song called London Bridge. Girls. Hey, next will be a flute player. Julia Hasselfuss will be playing hard rock blues on the flute. Just down the road from her, we have Grace Patrick playing Prairie Shotgun. Next up, flute player Jorge will play Jingle Bells. Another flute player, Arlene, will play Doodle All Day. Gentlemen from a number of different classes who are going to get together and play hard rock blues. Are you all going to move to somewhere central? Jared on oboe, Adam on trombone, Honor on sax. Oh, that's twice. Sorry, Honor. Sorry, Jimmy. I owe them Jolly Ranchers when I call them the wrong name, so he's breaking them in right now. Thanks for having two first names, right? And do we have Theron in there? Here it comes. Yeah. And Alex. So we've got all of you. Here they are, the guys playing hard rock blues. We'll talk later about that song. I get to make up the piano part, and they like that so much that they made up parts in between. It was really awesome. All right, we move to the clarinet section where Brenda is going to play Mozart Melody. Over to your right in the flute section, Libby will play a song called When the Saints Go Marching In. So I try to give these folks some ideas for solos. They'll be getting a nice present here before Thanksgiving, a lot of different solos that they can play that are maybe more popular for them. But how many of you in the 6th grade band have taken advantage of Solo Fridays and played a solo on a Friday at some point or another? This is totally voluntary. I never make anyone play by themselves, but they soon discover that if they can play something well, they want to show it off. And so they do. And that's great. I'm going to go to a Mozart melody, which is a very well-known tune, as you probably figured out. And this was the first edition of our 6th note. We only had 5 notes up until now we got 6. So here is a Mozart melody, otherwise known as Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And some of the muscles that these folks are developing are muscles that you can't see at all. But what they're doing up here is every bit as athletic as a dancer or a skier or maybe not a hockey player, but pretty close, pretty close. They just have to do it all very tiny and small movements. And so this next piece, we added a 7th note, but it was below instead of above. That made a lot of people happy because their muscles weren't strong enough to get up to that high note yet. As of now, they're getting there really well. But when they started, it was tough. It had some major physical effort to get up there. So here it is, Doodle All Day. So I thought we'd do just a little mini demonstration of how we learn a song. And usually, unless it has something brand new in it, they can come across with a song in one class period. We work at it 5 or 6 minutes, and then the next time we come back, and it's pretty good, and we fine-tune some stuff, and then they go on. If there's something really tough in it, then and it takes a while when we keep working. This song is called Jump Rope. Nobody knew how it sounded. We have not rehearsed this as a group ever. Okay, first time ever to be heard. And what I'm going to show you is what we do to learn. So you guys, I'm going to ask you, instead of using your pencils to tap, to just tap on your leg. Don't let your instruments fall, all right? And would you tap the rhythm of Jump Rope? The first note is a 2-count note. So we also have a rhythm sheet, which I did not make them bring out tonight. I know they love them dearly, right? But I asked them to write in counting, and then we tap the line, and then they play the line on any note they want. And so that's how they learn the rhythm. This didn't come just automatically, this tapping so accurately. And then I'll grab an instrument, and usually it's a trumpet. I'm a flute player at heart, but trumpet only takes one hand, and I oftentimes need another hand to do something else. So I'll ask them to echo parts of the song. Piece of music that we're heading for is also a familiar song to most people, but in this book, they made it really easy. They made all of the notes exactly the same. So if you were singing a song, you'd go, jingle bells, jingle all the way, and that drove these guys crazy. They wanted to play it like they know it. I said, okay, we'll play it like you know it, but we have to change the rhythm in the books. So we learned something that wasn't what they usually teach sixth graders in the beginning of this book, a dotted quarter-eighth note. Means one note's longer, the next note's a little shorter than the beat. So here they are playing Jingle Bell. folks are exceedingly professional acting. They aren't turning around and talking while somebody's playing. They're doing what they need to do to take care of their own playing. And that's part of what we work on in Solo Day. That everybody is okay to take a risk if they make a mistake. We just are patient and let them work through it. And it turns out that you have really awesomely mature young ladies and men in this group. So here is another set of solos for your listening enjoyment. Mackenzie, over in the flute section, will play Ode to Joy. Wave, so we know where you are. Next on our list is another flute player. Sian will play a French folk song called A Clair de Lune, or in English, How Clear is the Moon. Don't forget to wave or stand up or something so you can see. Excellent. Over on your right-hand side, Devin will play the song called Jingle Bells. Notice that he alternates his sticks and he rarely looks down at his bells. Once in a while, he'll look. Clarinet section, we move to Maya, who will be playing Mozart Melody on the clarinet. Now is a good time to remind you to keep your reeds wet. All right. And then we'll go over here to the flute section again, and Tia Smith will be playing Doodle All Day. Claire Souhay will be playing the William Tell Overture. Lightning Road. Traveling back over the clarinet section, Kaylee and Amelia will play a round on Frere Jacques. Travel back to the trombone section, where Gavin will play a song called Hot Cross Buns, my favorite ever. Really aren't into bowing much, so I told them they could wave, just so long as you know where they were. All right, now we'll go back to the large group, and you can tell we've speeded up our notes. We're doing more what we call articulation or tonguing, which is using the end of your tongue, or in the case of Devin over here, he uses wrist and he rebounds off the bell to make sharper, clearer sounds instead of just going, they go top, 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 and it makes a nicer start to the note. So here we are with a bunch of eighth notes in a song called Skip to My Lou. The next song has something very exciting to me and possibly to you as parents. They are starting to learn dynamics, which means they start out the song only medium loud instead of really loud, and then at the end they get to play really loud. So hopefully they'll continue along that line and learn how to play all kinds of softs and mediums and louds, so you won't listen to one dynamic the rest of your life. Here they are playing a song called the William Tell Overture. the next song goes into something we call minor key. And we haven't talked a lot about it, but it's a different color for the song. Makes it sound, instead of like yellow or orange in my head, it makes it sound more like maroon or dark gold or brown velvet kind of sound. So this is Hey Ho, Nobody's Home. So now we'll head into our last set of solos, and we'll start with a duet by Suhey and Leslie in the flute section of Jingle Bells. Section again, we come to Tamia and Arlene, who you have heard before, playing a song called Mozart Melody. Would you like to start? All right, 1, 2, ready, go. Another large group of guys in the band there, Jake Whitney, Tyler, Adam, Mark, Joe. Are they anybody else? Okay, so they will be playing Courage After That. They've got kind of a twist on the parts here. To a gentleman who just started Sunday, January, what was it, like a week and a half ago? 2 weeks? Decided he wanted to play, and here he is, and he wanted to do a solo, so he would play a song called First Flight. When you're ready, January. So in the student section where Nick Herman will play Jingle Bells. All right, on we go with Haley and Libby, and if Jess were here, Jess would play. But since Jess isn't, Haley and Libby playing Oh Susanna. To our last cue here in the back of the band, Audra will play the song called Theme from the New York Symphony. I should have warned you about the trick ending. The next person up is a flute player, and she has no trick ending.